Then after he was done, I didn't know anything about anything, but I was there. And Henry Wallace was running for president. He was a sort of a progressive candidate. And afterwards, the banjo player, which is Pete, was hanging out with everybody in the audience. I said, wow, that's pretty nice. Because that's the way, that's my nature too, as you know.
Yes.
And it wasn't something I don't think that he thought was some special thing. That's just the way he was. He didn't separate himself from the people. And over the years, he always remained on the same track. He was, if you said to him, Pete, I love your music, he couldn't stand it. But if you said I have a flat tire, he'd come running right over. And one time, I was doing the thing, his grandson, Cal, who's a wonderful musician, he moved down to New Orleans now, was organizing the program. He said, well, Grandpa thought he'd like to go down, walk from 95th Street down to 49th Street, where Columbus Circle is, and he just bought 2 aluminum canes, and he thinks he can make it. So on the last tune we're going to play, when the Saints go marching in, he said, do you have your penny whistles? Your kids are on stage singing. When you walk around the hall, instead of walking all the way around, coming back to the stage, you walk around when you get to the exit door. Instead of turning to go around the other side, you just walk right out the door. Or whether Pete's going to be there or so. So sure enough, I was leaving the thing like the Spirit of 76 flutist over like a little penny whistle. And we started walking there, and Pete had his canes, and he said, boy, he said, I feel pretty good. He said, down, let me see, you've got 42 more blocks. He had that wonderful way of speaking, so with this patrician New England accent. And so we've got 41 more blocks. And then he talked about all different demonstrations we've been in and stuff, where they had said how nice it was not to have tear gas being thrown out at us, or people getting arrested or beaten up or anything. It was really fun. And we were walking along. Suddenly, I was supposed to be on his left side, and someone from the Clearwater was on his right side. We were there because he was his 90s by then. In case he fell down or something, we could make sure he, because that was a long walk. Suddenly, whomp, and then I said, oh my God, he's collapsing.
Oh no.
He had gone, scooped down to pick up a piece of paper that was on the sidewalk.
Wow.
I said, wow. A block later, I saw a popsicle stick on the sidewalk. I said, uh-oh, I can't let that go. So I bent down without letting go of his arm, picked it up, and he whispered to me, you may put that in my coat pocket if you wish.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Yeah, he was. I remember one time I worked at the local 4-H fair, close to where our farm was, and I would play some music, but mostly I was roasting corn, so I got there early to get the corn, get the fire going.
Nice.
And Pete's wife, Toshi, who was a magnificent, great, great person, said, well, he said, Grandpa, which she used to call him, or Pops, she would call him, said, he's going to be a real grandfather today. He's just going to go with the grandkids, and he's not going to play. We're just going to go out and come to the fair and just hang out. So I get there at 9 in the morning, and so I said, Pete Seeger's here. Pete Seeger. I said, where is he? They said, he's out with the trash crew. Sure enough, he was out.
That's awesome.
Trash. Then I'm up seeing him because Pete was sitting there with the grandkids playing with him. Someone said, Mr. Amram, we can't get this horse in the trailer. We know your wife has horses. Can you help us? I said, sure. All we need is a rope, or you get a blanket or something. We can blindfold the horse and get the rope behind him and ease him right in. Pete jumped up and said, I'll go too. And he leapt up. Then Tom Chapin came, a great Harry's brother, the great folk singer.
Wow.
Tom Chapin was singing, and then Pete came along, and I guess he had his banjo in the back of his car. We played for about an hour and a half. This was supposed to be his day off. So afterwards, all I said to Toshi, I'm really sorry. She said, no, that's Pete. That's what he loves to do. He loved playing music. He loved being with people. If someone had a problem, he was right there. He really cared about doing for others. And he lived to be 94 years old, and I was with him the night he passed away,
Wow.
Guy Davis Jr., wonderful, great actor. Ossie Davis was his dad.
Oh,
Ruby
wow.
Doo was his mom. He's a wonderful actor and a wonderful folk singer, a
Yes,
blues
yes.
singer, fabulous. And a woman named Pat Humphreys, a wonderful songwriter, was there. And I walked into the hospital, and I really didn't. And the door said, no. He said, listen, Grandpa, this has to be a party. So I just played real soft, and then Pat Humphreys played one of her beautiful songs. I played real soft behind her. And then Guy Davis said, we need some levity. And he took a harmonica out, and he made up one of those songs. Like they have this famous songs about chasing the fox that the old blues guys used to play. He made it up about Pete. And suddenly it was like a big party, and then we looked over, and Pete, you could see him tapping his foot.
Wow.
And you could feel his whole spirit, like he was grooving.
I got chills, brother. That's crazy.
So we went home, and I said to the guy who brought me down, I said, I didn't even feel like coming here. I'm sure I said, we'll go back tomorrow and do it again. So an hour later, I get home. A half hour later, John Cohn, who had been married to Pete's sister, and a wonderful photographer and singer-songwriter and filmmaker. He's an amazing guy.
Wow.
John Cohn called and said, Pete just died. I said, he couldn't have, man. I was with him an hour and a half ago. They said, no. A half hour after you guys left the hospital, he passed away.
Wow.
So I realized how lucky I was to have known him all that time.
Oh my gosh, Dave, that's crazy. I'm speechless.
But I'll tell you and your listeners something that Theo, just so nobody gets bummed out by hearing that.
Yeah,
Theo
totally.
Bickel, when he was 85 years old, had this big party at Carnegie Hall. And Theo Bickel's an actor that played Tevye in the Fiddler in the Roof, and there's a bit of movies. He was a great folk singer earlier on from Israel. Amazing guy. He was having his 85th birthday. Still full of beans, and he bounded out of the stage. He said, ladies and gentlemen, so nice to be at Carnegie Hall. He said, but a lot of people come up now and they say, Theo, you're turning 85. Are you okay? And he says, I tell them, don't worry. He said, in the theater, no one ever dies. We just go on tour. So I think of it now.
That's awesome.
Pete, he's just like he's on tour. And that's a good way of looking at it.